It's really interesting going over all of these N64 games. It's really seeing sort of what both the world and specifically Japan looked like in the mid to late 1990s. An obsession with ice-based sports and the NBA trying to be popular in Japan. Basketball is a thing in Japan. Not as big as, say, perhaps soccer or baseball, but it's a thing. They tried. $1 for NBA in the Zone, 98. NBA in the Zone 2. Tried very hard to find this game. The N64 games, oh yeah, unfortunately ripped. I don't know if that's the label coming off. Let's see, let me inspect that. Yeah, it's the back label coming off. Unfortunate, but it's not something I want complete in box or anything. Your man out of Japan, Jay Contra, by the way. And I need to remind everyone that collecting is a disease. Actually, I have played a few of these games, actually, now that I think about it. Have not played, what is this, Space Dynamites by Vic Tokai. Can't remember what the English version of this game was called. I'm sure it's a very passable game. It is certainly a game. And then a weird one, Sonic Wings Assault. Copyright Video System and Paradigm Entertainment. Now, Sonic Wings, amazing vertically scrolling shooting game series. I think there was, 1, 2, and 3 that came out on the Neo Geo, a few ports to the Sega Saturn and the Super Nintendo. And then they came up with a 3D, jet simulator. I don't get it. I don't get it. What is a terrible game, what I would recommend you absolutely do not play, is PD Ultraman Battle Collection 64. It is Pokemon-esque in that you get a bunch of, it's almost like gachapon, where you're putting money into a machine and you get out little Ultraman characters, and you then use those to fight monsters, and you level up your characters. It sucks. It's slow. The attacks are boring. Maybe if you like Ultraman 64, it'd be okay, but I cannot believe a game like this was put out. I'm sure it's because it was underfunded and they had a very limited amount of time to put a game out. I'm not blaming the developers. I'm just saying that it just did not, the ultimate execution of that game did not work out. I actually have a review of it on my channel somewhere. Super Bowling, difficult again to find this game. An Athena game. Athena coming out with a couple games for the N64. And as far as I remember, the only bowling game that came out for the N64. I got a couple bowling games in my library. There's another one for the, it's a Neo Geo bowling game. Power Bowling League, something like that. Ah yes, Parlor Pro 64. A pachinko game. It's got great animations. It's pachinko games, you're basically playing the same game. There's 4 or 5 that came out for the N64. Actually, I have one right here. Here's a preview for when I get to the complete in box games. Here's Heiwa Pachinko World 64. There's 4 or 5 of those games around somewhere. They're all more or less the same. This one had some really great animations though. And I mean in the machine. They all have different sets of machines. So they've got that going for it. Then we've got World Cup France 98. A bunch of Japan was all in on soccer. There are so many soccer games for the N64. Especially because of the World Cup. I don't know if Japan was in the World Cup and that's what got people interested. Japan really loves the sports that Japan gets into, much like the United States, so I can completely sympathize with them. But I'm sure it's fine. It's a Konami game. It's perfectly good, perfectly acceptable. A game that is more than acceptable, a game that is great, Excelsior, I would even say, is Star Wars Rogue Squadron, also known as here as, what is this? Star Wars Shitsugeki Rogue Chutai. I'm probably reading that kanji wrong. But I don't think I've played a better Star Wars game. For all the games, I think, Squadrons is out now. There was, not Last Jedi, but Fallen Order or whatever. None of those games, even I would say the Battlefields that came out with vehicle combat, none of them, I feel, exceed Star Wars Rogue Squadron. Great game. Can't recommend it enough. Technically the only scrolling shooter released for the N64. Star Soldier Vanishing Earth. Don't know if this got a localization outside of Japan, but it's weird that the PlayStation and the Sega Saturn both had amazing scrolling shooters. Probably because of their CD-based audio, but the N64, nothing. Except for Star Soldier. Zool, a Japanese exclusive. This is what Majutsukai Densetsu, Legend of the Beastmaster, of the Magical Beastmaster, that is. 1999 by Imagineer. Kind of like Monster Farm. I think I'm making an appropriate connection there. It's an RPG where you get a bunch of monsters and you fight them, you level them up. It's okay. I've played it a little bit. I think I was trying to play it for a review, but I never got around to actually reviewing it. Here you got Iggy's Wrecking Balls. This is Iggy-kun no Burapuyon. I think it might be the second one, actually. I can't tell. But yes, Iggy's Wrecking Balls. I feel like I've played that game, but I can't remember. I don't want to give you a definitive 5-second review, but I can't remember at all. Robots. This is Super Roboto Taisen 64. Super Robot Wars 64. An incredible quasi-RPG where you control Gundams, and it's got all these characters. It's got beautiful sprite work. It's actually a fairly good game. This was the second ever video game review that I did for my channel. Very fond memories of Super Robot Wars 64. Let's add on a couple here. We've got like 5 more minutes. Can add on a bunch of games. Another soccer game. All of these sports games that we've got to go through. Oh, and then we reach the Shogi games. That's going to be something when we get to Shogi. Because Shogi, I'm still trying to figure out how to play that game. I'm bad at chess. I am even worse at Shogi. Very unique title. Disney's Dancing Museum. A DDR game. Dance Dance Revolution branding. I actually have the dance pad for this upstairs. It is unique. There was only one dance pad that came out for the N64. And it is Disney branded. You can actually use it to control games. You could theoretically clear Ocarina of Time using a DDR dance pad. It is possible. Has anyone done it yet? I don't know. I know speedrunners are doing weird things these days. But thanks to Disney Dance Dance Revolution, we could do it. We could. I'm not going to. I'd much rather play F-Zero X. I love the F-Zero series. I cannot believe that the last one was released for the GameCube / Game Boy Advance. But here we've got the 3D for the Nintendo 64. Actually came out with there's a course builder for the 64 DD. That's out there somewhere. It's like more than $50 now, so I'm not going to be getting it. The Olympics were big. People were thinking about, especially, 1998. I bet you anything, the uptick in snowboarding games, especially for the N64, was all because of the Winter Olympics. And that's why we got 1080. That's why that is now a franchise. 64 Trump Collection. What is this? Arisu no Waku Waku Torampu Warudo. Actually, I haven't played this. That looks weird. Very distinct art there, but haven't played it yet. What I have played and what I've actually cleared, I've cleared both the English and the Japanese version, is GoldenEye 64. Remember, that's Pierce Brosnan's mouth, all the way from there to the left to the right. Fantastic game. If you haven't played it, why haven't you? I believe this is the version that speedrunners use because the Japanese text displays more quickly than the English version. 64 Ozumo. I have reviewed this game. I have reviewed 64 Ozumo. It's a pretty interesting wrestling game. It's a sumo game, of course, where you create your own sumo wrestler and then you try to work your way up the ranks until you're the best sumo wrestler. Now, I know in Japan, it's been a bit controversial in the last few years because I believe the biggest and most successful wrestlers have been like Bulgarian and Mongolian. I think back in the day, a Hawaiian guy was at the top of the league. With more foreigners getting into sumo, I think that's a good thing. And I don't know if you can actually play as a foreign wrestler in 64 Ozumo. I think it'd be cool. Check out my review somewhere on this channel. I made it like 7 years ago. So it's not that good. But it's out there if you want to know more about 64 Ozumo. J-League Tactics Soccer. Yes, this was, I think, J-League. J-League is Japan's soccer league, by the way, their national soccer league. Tactics Soccer it's really a management simulator. It's sort of like Winning 11, if that's the one that I'm remembering that Konami puts out. You don't really play soccer. You just pick the right people for soccer and you tell them what to do instead of actually playing soccer. Unlike J-League Live 64. This is a soccer game where you actually control the characters. But I remember this not being that great. The graphics today don't hold up and the gameplay doesn't either. 11 Beats. Yes, this was put up by Hudson. I remember this being okay. I remember this being a decent soccer game. I have a video on my channel where I review all of the N64 soccer games. Well, all of the Japanese exclusive ones, at least. Including Dynamite Soccer. I think Dynamite Soccer is the one where you can just keep... I think you can just keep like tackling the opponents, and you can eventually just reduce both of your teams down to like 3 people on both sides. Really, really interesting game. Can't believe they would let you do that. Let's Smash. Not a Japanese exclusive, but if you're American and you haven't seen that before, it's because it was only released in Europe and Japan. Tennis game by Hudson, 1998. Don't know why it didn't come out in the United States. Maybe because of Mario Tennis. I don't know. F1 World Grand Prix. Racing game by Video System. Oh, yes. Didn't they come out? Video System came out with the Sonic Wings games. Yes. Here we've got Olympic 2000, Ganbare Nippon. Where was the 2000? Where were those Olympics? Because 1998 was Nagano. Was 2000 Sydney? And then like 02 was Salt Lake? I don't know. Can't remember. Not actually that big into the Olympics unless America is winning. And then Snow Speeder. Another one. So that makes 1080. King Hill. Snowboard Kids 1 and 2. Airboarder. And then, so there are 6 snowboarding games. And actually, well, I guess also skiing. So a little bit of a snowboarding game. But 6 snowboarding games for the N64. How strange. Never realized that until you lay everything out. I don't think you realize what was going on in the late 1990s. Really interesting. Don't think anyone's picked up on that except for me, but that's because I'm a weirdo. So those are a bunch of cartridges. I actually have one more bin of N64 cartridges that I want to go through, but I need to take a break. I'm exhausted. I've been putting all of these videos together to go through my complete Japanese N64 set. I hope you'll join me in the next video. If you'd like to support the channel, you can head over to my Patreon, patreon.com/jcontra. You can get exclusive videos over there, as well as the ability to participate in polls that will determine what I stream over at Twitch. I've been your man out of Japan, Jay Contra. Thanks for watching, and mahalo.